Analyst Desk talked a lot about draft. We're going to talk a lot about draft. And it does feel like that G2's just kind of running rings around KC, as KC will once again choose first pick. They will remain on the red side. They seem to very much like the red side of the Rift, as they will ban away the Aphelios, and Varus is going to be the response.
G2 are putting them on the red side, because G2 get to pick side selection, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
So I would say KC don't seem to like the red side.
Because they've always chosen red every time they have.
It's also true, yep.
Yeah, I do think, though, it's as much as the draft has obviously helped in occasion for G2, I just think it's the way G2 have been playing. Like, they've been so good at keeping control on where SkewMond is, to cover for Yike, to cover for lanes, and just both solo laners constantly helping each other. Like, Broken Blade was on the Shen in game number 1 covering for Caps. In game number 2, Caps relied on him on the Talia and repaid all of that help. So I really enjoy watching the way G2 have been playing, and for KC, that's kind of left them a bit stumped, where they haven't found that same success in the early game that we've been highlighting for them this series.
And now need to find a reverse sweep if they're going to be able to make history with their second ever LEC win. The bans are Varus, Azir, and Yunara from G2, Vi, Nico, and Aphelios from KC, and that leads us straight to a Rumble first pick for KC.
Well, no Galio response from Broken Blade, something that we've seen from him a lot in the past, which means they're going to have to come up with something else. Ornn, we saw a bunch from Mewin as an answer. I think you could also consider something like Rek'Sai if you want to, if you just want a little bit more sustain, something tanky in the top side of the Rift.
Especially since the Galio is gone, which has kind of been that answer for Broken Blade so consistently into this matchup over the past, but it looks like it will be the Ornn.
Now, I am looking at the player cams, and the reason why I'm doing that is because, yes, I did see an Ornn jungle by Inspired, and it would not surprise me if G2 did something cheeky like that, so I'll wait to see, but for now, we'll assume the Ornn is in the top lane as an answer into the Rumble.
When Inspired did an interview last year about G2, he said SkewMond is the jungler most like me in the LEC
okay,
as well, right?
That's true.
So
he did say that.
I am curious, though, as we get over to the other side, if KC end up just immediately taking something like Wukong Braum, because when you look at it, like, a lot of those enchanters are already starting to slip away, and I mean, you can try and maybe blind Lulu here into the Braum, but I still think you get a lot of answers into the Ornn. You get a good opportunity to try and force them off of this next rotation in towards more of those engaged supports as well. But I think Wukong and Rumble are just such a strong pairing, and there's the Wukong.
I like the Wukong. Want someone up on top of the Equalizer. Alongside that, kyeahoo is going to bring out the Ahri, which can sometimes struggle for damage, especially if you go down the Rod of Ages route.
I mean, he had a great game on it yesterday, though, with the some charms really solidifying the game in their favor.
The problem with all the picks they've shown is like, now my brain is like, okay, Vex could be good here. Ooh, okay.
Sylas.
I am a big fan of Caps' Sylas. He's got some great ults to steal as well. I was thinking to myself, what is a good champion to Ahri? There's a lot of them, but what's good into Ahri and can manage Rumble and Wukong? That becomes the trickier part. Sylas is someone that doesn't have a super winning matchup against Ahri and can even be bullied, but the fact that he has a lot of mobility, there's a relatively short range from the Wukong and the Rumble, and he's got great ults to steal, mean that it makes a ton of sense when paired up alongside a Pantheon as well.
It does mean, though, that you've got 3, if not 4, maybe melee champions coming in. If Rob decides to go that route, that could end up being at least pushed to the side thanks to that Cyclone, make things a little bit easier for trying to clear out these fights. But obviously, if Ornn is able to get this ultimate off, that can really seal the deal. I still think you have an option here to just take your AD carry and then leave that Braum open if you want to for KC. Because with everything there, like, I mean, you're a Braum aficionado, like a couple of auto attacks onto a few melee champions is great.
I love Braum into this G2 comp. I think there's, yeah, even Sylas stealing your ult isn't really the end of the world. Unbreakable does so much work for you. It is tricky in lane if you're playing into a ranged matchup. You can just be chunked out quite a lot. Lulu, likely to be banned
but that's
out.
the thing, if G2 ban Lulu, then it's Lulu, Bard, Seraphine, Karma, Nami gone, and I'm trying to like...
Melio is the one I'd look towards. If you're looking for an enchanter at that point. Kai'Sa taken away, Lulu and Xayah banned away by G2. KC can continue to pinch that AD carry pool if they want. They kind of just want to get rid of some of the dive follow-up for G2. Again, G2 have the options to play into these side lanes with the Grand Starfall. Something we see so often from the Pantheon is the ability to influence a lot of the map. SkewMond having only brought out this Pantheon once so far this split, though, and did lose. Oh, there goes my voice. Did lose on it. We've seen G2 just having such a higher level of performance overall that you can't really count them out, even on champions that they've lost on already. As we see the Alistair as the final ban from KC, G2 having a think, having a ponder. Where are we going in terms of
Corki would be the easiest one, right?
You're right, Betty. You're right. Corki would be the easiest one.
You just don't have to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, there we are.
So then...
Jhin would be the response traditionally, because Ezreal is the other one, but Ezreal's gone, so...
How do you get through the Ornn if you're playing
that's the
Jhin?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, they could do Jinx.
Is it just a... Oh, Vedius is gone.
If they want to do hyper carry... They could do Caliste. Nah.
No.
Caliste into Ornn also doesn't sound like the most fun.
All right, well, they can tell me. All right, they've decided to go for Jhin. Into a bunch of melees, not too bad. Jhin Rumble, always a great combo. You talked a lot about the Braum earlier. I think they could also consider Leona.
Yeah.
But then you're giving another nice ulti for Sylas to steal. Oh, Nautilus is still open. For some reason in my head, this was gone. But I guess it was just banned a bunch throughout the series.
Banned in the last game, yeah.
But actually hasn't been picked yet. So Nautilus makes a ton of sense to me. And I mean, so for those that don't follow Labrov or his career, Rell is something like, I think it's his most played in his career. But there was a split on BDS where he had something like 17 Rell games and then like 2 of something else. Like 17 Rell, 2 Alistair. Like, he's played so much Rell. It's one of his most comfortable champions. I think it synergizes nicely with what G2 have gotten. And here's the reality. G2 have gone for a simple front-to-back teamfight comp with the added element of strong side lane because of Sylas and Pantheon. Their ability to collapse, the fact that they can win out on skirmishes, I think is needed into Ahri Wukong specifically. But I do think that when the desk was talking about KC having tools, this game, I think they do have a lot of tools to find out plays, to find picks, and to make things happen on the map.
And honestly, I think with the Pantheon there, it actually kind of turns Ornn into a side lane threat because he can tank towers and he has so much CC. He just enables the Pantheon to come through so effectively. So I think even if you end up in a 1-3-1, you kind of have to play defensive as Canna into the Rumble. And as you say, on the opposite side, I think for KC, it's try and play through strongly jungle, hope that this Wukong Rumble is enough. Because if you cannot beat G2 and take down kind of where they are going to end up relatively tanky, you just run out of steam so quickly as KC.
KC and G2 taking to the Rift once again, the 3rd time today in what is a mirror of last year's finals. On that occasion, it was KC with the 3-0. Here, they are trying to stop G2 from performing that same whitewash. The last time a team went undefeated through an LEC playoffs without losing a single game. It was 2019 G2. I will say production put that on the screen. They told me to say it. I didn't bring them up willingly.
I mean, that is super impressive, though. Yep. Like, coming into this top 4 conversation, we had 3 out of the 4 teams hadn't made a single roster change moving from last year into this year. Yeah. KC being the only one. KC realized that their progress, they weren't getting better as the year went on, they were getting worse. And the fact that they failed to qualify for the World Championship meant that changes needed to happen. And to their credit, those changes have been good. Like the introduction of Busio, the addition of kyeahoo, I think that we've seen way more consistency and a higher ceiling from this roster overall. Ooh, hang on a minute.
Yeah, Labrov using the aftershock here, but Caliste holding on for the 4th shot until that aftershock falls off, means that Labrov loses about 1/3 of his HP bar.
But ultimately, my point is that G2 has this strong mentality of believing in that 2-year plan, that long-term investment. And while the regular season didn't give much to be desired, oh, hang on, Busio, they're interrupting my point.
Ignite on Labrov, he has to walk out of this. The staggering blows, Busio might flash for the auto, Caliste flashes! And it's a summoner for summoner exchange. Labrov forced to back away. Hunsummer has to walk the long way round. Oh, good hook around the wall, but Caliste unable to land the deadly flourish to follow it up.
Yeah, Labrov was trying to find trades using the shield that the Rell had, but she never actually popped it on Busio, or kind of traded back onto Busio. So Caliste was kind of free autoing. Hans wasn't able to get through the damage onto Busio at all. So these trades were just constantly going in KC's favor, especially when he missed the crash down the 2nd time.
Keeping my eyes on the junglers, I thought maybe Yike would consider abandoning his bot side camps and actually just making a rush towards bot, but for now he's going to focus on continuing his clear.
Nice route from Caps as he uses that passive, the Petrocyte burst to get the damage in.
Nice job by hiding behind the minion as well. That minion ended up tanking the charm that kyeahoo was trying to land onto Caps as he went for that all-in, or sorry, all-in, the trade. So nicely done there as well.
Both junglers on their final camps. Should be hovering around the bot side, but it's KC that have the prio, so we'll see if SkewMond chooses to go back to base to then move up towards that top side crab. Right now, he doesn't really have any pushing lanes in mid or bot. It's a dangerous place for him to be as kyeahoo doing exactly what you need to in the Ahri Sylas matchup. Just take advantage of your range. Bully, bully, bully as much as you can. HP pots have been traded, and as we expected, SkewMond gonna go back to base. The likelihood of a dive seems low, but okay,
but
no.
Never zero, Vedi.
Yike is thinking about it, and they read it as well.
Nautilus loves to dive. Root lands on Hans. Summer has the barrier, has the flash, crash down onto Busio. He hooks himself away. Yike stunned up with a shadowing strike. SkewMond on his way across, and now KC on the wrong side of the tower. Aegis assault from SkewMond lands onto 3. Look at the blinking health bars on KC. One falls, a second follows suit. The dive goes pear-shaped, and G2 take 2.
SkewMond forever in the nick of time. The last bop from KC's jungler took the tower shot and secured the play.
Great awareness from SkewMond. He paths top, immediately says, oh, I can see the dive coming. Goes straight towards bot lane. Yike takes that extra tower shot, and SkewMond, I mean, it's like a scene out of 300. He just dives head first into them, knowing that he can easily have the damage, have the HP, and he leads game 3 with a 2-0 start on Pantheon.
I was just about to talk about how KC had 3 winning lanes. They had a lead in the top side, a lead in mid. kyeahoo was forcing Caps low. Caliste and Busio were on the right side of every trade. And then one botch dive turns it into G2's favor. Almost 800 gold ahead now, SkewMond in the jungle.
Still the trades on bot lane. KC know they can still find some windows, but it just alleviates so much of that pressure on the bottom side, especially after what was that really strong level 1 from KC.
What a talent SkewMond has become. What accolades he's been able to build up. I mean, obviously so many question marks when he replaced Yike. I mean, everyone was like, is this really the right move? Like, Yike, of course, internationally, there have been some questions around his performance, but ultimately, he's a very solid jungler. But SkewMond has come into his own as Busio goes for another trade against Labrov. The back and forth between these bot laners is consistent. Caps now very low.
Dash in from kyeahoo with the Spirit Rush. SkewMond on his way across, has the flash. Will get the shield vault in as well. kyeahoo flashed away well, but Caps is on the chase. The stolen Spirit Rush. Enough for G2 to get their 3rd. Yike looking for the dash in here. Caps absconds away, won't take the fray.
Caps played that so well. He dove for the minion wave to kill the minions, to give himself level 6 so he can steal that ultimate and turn the play around.
Yike is trying to fix the wave for his mid laner, but SkewMond won't let him. The wave is in a nice spot for Caps now. Go back to base, quickly rush out. Gonna come back into mid lane with the Hextech alternator. Will help him a lot in the trades against the Ahri. And the momentum is just shifting so dramatically. KC, the wind from their sails that was riding high from the first 2 days of this 3-day weekend seems to have all but vanished. As KC, they haven't given up just yet. The fight against the
hasn't been spotted. You have a Grand Starfall. He just hit 6. SkewMond with those 2 early kills and the assist has his ultimate quicker than usual. And with Hans waiting in the alcove, KC are pounced on. G2 find their prey, and Busio will not live to see another day.
SkewMond just does not miss. I thought coming into this game, coming into this series, that there'd be a conversation about player of the series, but SkewMond is stealing the spotlight just like he did in Madrid.
Absolutely insane performance from the G2 jungler. It just feels like KC can't blink without seeing this man in front of them. And it starts off as a decent trade, like they get Labrov, they think they've interrupted the reset, but it's all the mind games. And as Hans Sam, as he comes out, they realize they're too far, but now Yike might be caught.
There's 4
Yike goes in with the Cyclone Busio there as well. The equalizer down the charm as well. They'll find it. SkewMond killed off by kyeahoo, gets the shutdown. A 600 gold lead for him as well.
A much needed pick for KC. Slow down that snowball in any way that you can. Get gold onto kyeahoo. And just stymie this aggression that G2 is building up. The top crab will be secured for Yike, level 6 secured for him. There's a massive gold difference between the junglers, but KC, they're not the type of team to just roll over and die. They'll keep fighting back as much as they can. Let's see if they can keep this up.
Hans Valkyrieing in, just looking for the barrier out of Caliste. Will get it. They'll be exchanged. Caliste opens up the curtains, misses the first. Hans trying to sidestep, second connects, the third goes wide. A fourth, Hans flashes it. Busio with no flash can't close the gap on the G2 AD carry.
Caliste getting the flash out of Hans is a nice little setup that maybe they can punish later. But one of the things I wanted to highlight was when we saw KC kind of dropping behind in the games against Giant X, it was Busio who stepped up to make plays on the bar, to roam around the map and try and get KC back into position. That pick was off the back of a better roam from Busio. Maybe that man can step up again once more for KC, see if he can find plays on the map and just claw something back for KC here.
I mean, the good news is the gold difference isn't insurmountable. Obviously, SkewMond is very strong now that he's got that, the...
Sundered Sky.
Thank you very much, Medic. Now that he's got the Sundered Sky, you do not want to fight him. Absolutely not. But if KC can slow the game down, as you're saying, if they can find opportunities, maybe find another pick, punish SkewMond's aggression, then there are definitely ways in which they can come back into the game. And getting that first dragon is an excellent start. If they can grab that objective, at least it's a way to stop G2 forcing KC into these dragon fights.
I think the hardest part for them is that Busio, because he's been roaming, is so far away from that level 6 though. So trying to be that kind of key engage tool with that ultimate is going to be tough. It needs to be Yike. And if the Grand Starfall is up and available like it is now, I think Yike just gets a little bit more nervous about fully trying to commit to any plays because SkewMond can show up.
A couple of good deep wards placed in SkewMond's blue side jungle from KC means that he wasn't able just to walk towards the top lane and Grand Starfall in with the Call of the Forge God layering. KC now collapsing around mid as they know SkewMond's in the area. Don't know his exact location, but know the locale at least. In the end, neither team really going to be able to start up the Drake. SkewMond still looking towards top, hovering. Can bring the stars down. Call of the Forge God, flash immediately from Canna. He's gone to the danger zone, but it's a highway for hell, it seems, as SkewMond finds another.
This is what Dagda was talking about in the draft. It's such easy setup with the Ornn and the Pantheon. Labrov is now hovering around mid as Cap steals the ult.
Yike is on his way. Yike's on his way. He's running in immediately. Spear rush forward. They have to kill kyeahoo quickly, but Cap's able to dash away. There's the Cyclone. KC find one in response.
It's something back for KC on the mid wave. And it does mean that at least you're getting some gold into kyeahoo, getting some gold into Yike. Maybe these are moments where you can try and push that pressure into side lanes after.
I mean, kyeahoo is becoming the shining light for KC right now. Nearly a 1k gold lead over Caps, quickly rushing towards that first completed item.
And it's not a Rod of Ages.
It's not a Rod of Ages. It's going to be the Blackfire Torch. Something we've been seeing a bunch on the Ahri. I was kind of hoping that they would start that dragon off, but they did invest a lot of resources. Yike goes back to base, picks up the Trinity Force, a nice item spike for him, but he's decided, you know what, the dragon is too far away. He's going to prioritize clearing through his camps. I expect him to grab the grubs if he sees an opportunity. G2 not going to be upset about getting the first dragon of the game.
Yike's been doing a good job of farming while SkewMond has been ganking. Yes, SkewMond is 5-1-1 and 1,000 gold ahead, but Yike has the camp lead. Now pings towards those grubs. There's a control ward on it for G2, so they'll know it's happening. But KC have evened out that gold lead. 400 now. A longsword at best. The problem is, a lot of it sits on SkewMond's shoulders. Yike will be able to take one of the grubs. Caps coming across. Canna pushing in the top side. BB trying to match it. Caps clears out the vision. It will be 2 grubs for naught for KC.
Yes, he's too paranoid. He doesn't quite know when that Grand Skyfall is back up again. Caps was enough of a threat to deter him from finishing off the grubs. He'll take 2. Be happy with that as SkewMond makes his way back out onto the map. And it's that ulti I'm keeping my eyes on. Broken Blade's almost back up as well. Means that a top lane play could always be a possibility for G2.
There's a very slim window where KC could potentially make a play on the Hans Sama when he doesn't have that ult available, or sorry, the flash available. Busio needs to absorb 1 minion to hit level 6, but maybe that timing window will be gone by the time they get down here.
Then we'll have the Cyclone. No flash on Yike, but if it's set up with a depth charge or a dredge line, they could look for it.
Some nice deep vision has come through from G2 to spot out where Yike is, so making that potential bot lane play even harder, thanks to the information Labrov was able to garner. I imagine he needs to go back to base soon to replenish those wards, but instead he set his sights on mid lane, as so many others have done the same. Yike is hovering around, looking to protect kyeahoo. Keep my eyes on SkewMond as well, has the ulti available, looking for a flank.
Yeah, took the last grub. Yike's going to spot him. In the end, I think it's much ado about nothing here.
I mean, taking that grub just announces exactly where SkewMond is, so I think KC immediately pull off the play, knowing that
Yike with the Cyclone, looking at SkewMond here. Depth charge going down as Caps answers with one of his own, but now they'll dive back in with a second cast of the Cyclone, and Yike takes the kill. Labrov under the tower low. The KC get another on the board.
I mean, if you want to go back through G2's history, an effective way of shutting this team down is to keep attacking Caps, and KC have said, you know what, it worked once, why won't it work again? 1.2k gold lead now for kyeahoo, a second kill secured for Yike. KC fighting their way back into this game.
I mean, Yike spots SkewMond over the wall. This is a brave man. I wouldn't have considered that they would have had enough to try and get through him, but a good depth charge for Busio hits on towards 2. kyeahoo hitting that charm on the Caps was crucial as well, as he then turns to be the focus. Really well played by the mid and support alongside Yike.
Absolutely, that Busio depth charge, you called it out, was just so clean. Really set up for the rest of the KC members to secure those, well, the A kill. And at the very least walk away with something. So now the gold's lead has swung to KC. They fought back valiantly. They need to keep this going. Next objective is the Herald, spawning in about 1 minute 8 seconds. Across the board, those first items have been completed. KC feeling a lot more confident now that the gold has started to swing their way.
Yeah, Oblivion Orb for kyeahoo as well to try and mitigate some of that healing that comes out of the Kingslayer from Caps. Another charm connecting as kyeahoo continues to find his man. Abscond, Abductor going deep. Caps. Rocket Belt out, but the chase could continue here. No Spirit Rush for kyeahoo. Another charm though. Caps getting pulled all across the battlefield.
Overzealous there from Caps. Costs him a decent amount of HP.
He should be fine though, able to reset after clearing this wave, has the TP available and still be in position for Rift Herald, which in the next 30 seconds. I think it'll be relatively hard for KC to try and find a big fight at that objective. I think it will be a case of trying to fish for some sort of play on the bottom side with where Wukong is at the moment.
I do think KC have some solid team fight options. Of course, SkewMond is a scary opponent to play against, but that Rumble ultimate is the big thing that I'm keeping my eyes on. How can Canna use it to shape the landscape of the fight? Because I think we can all agree that G2 is kind of front to back. Rell ulti, Ornn ulti, and the fact that if Sylas steals a Wukong ult, or even the Rumble ult himself, like maybe it's Caps that can use Canna's ult more effectively than he can.
It's also, you know, it's Wukong ults into Charm, which then just constantly keeps someone on that Rumble ultimate as well. So I think if you can focus someone down like Caps, maybe then you have a chance. Or even SkewMond
behind him.
Here we go.
SkewMond's going to have to give up on the Rift Herald, and G2 might just give up on the play entirely. KC brought everyone up from the bottom side of the map, and with the TP in, KC will be able to secure the Rift Herald.
As a Wilder Canna could have TP'd down to bot, they have the Ahri actually catch the top wave, and then they can still protect those plates on bot. But by not doing that, while they do secure that Herald, the problem is Hansam is just getting free gold, getting free XP. You can see he's about to tick over to level 11.
Double in, they look for Yike. He's going to try and get out. Call of the Forge God down as well. The equalizer means the Broken Blade can't get any closer, but the Call of the Forge God will still find his man. Canna, though, just burned BB alive.
BB gave his life for nothing. They tried to make the pick on towards Yike, but that's Grand Starfall down and Broken Blade's ult with Dragon up and available. I mean, Wukong could just reset and Yike can immediately move into that bottom side if they want to.
You can hear the KC faithful in the arena really starting to come alive as KC swing the momentum in their favor. Yeah, SkewMond was so powerful in this early game, but after that 5-1 scoreline, he has not been able to have much more of an impact. That gold lead, that monstrous gold lead that he has shrunk to only 300, and now it's Canna and kyeahoo, the solo laners of KC, that are the ones with the advantage.
Now with the Rift Herald down in mid, KC get first move on the Drake. They'll get the tower as well. Busio keeping Labrov at arm's length. And G2, I don't really think want to fight this Drake at all. It will be one apiece. KC now 2k ahead in this game 3, a game they must win if they are going to continue on in this finals.
You can see, though, KC very worried about any sort of cross-map. Immediate pings from Canna onto the top lane, and even Busio was trying to go for a quick reset to immediately move towards that top side, but G2 just not in a position to try and go for it, so they will all just back away. But you can kind of see KC, how nervous they are. Like, what G2 does is get into your head, but KC are finding ways to fight back against it.
I really like what I've been seeing from KC in this game. I love the roams from Busio. Oh, Caps though.
Looking for the abscond, Doug will land it. Low on mana, steals the equalizer. Canna still has his flash. Caps still with the chase, but no mana for any further follow-up.
Small mental game there from Labrov. Committed the Q, threatened the flash. Canna, though, holds onto his flash. Doesn't worry too much about it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the chat sentiment very much leaning towards G2, but it is KC that is fighting their way back. kyeahoo, though, getting low.
Does have the Spirit Rush. Call of the Forge God out. Will exchange ultimate for ultimate. Still lands it. Broken Blade, though, can't really follow up any further.
TP behind him, though. Canna wants a piece of the Ornn.
Yeah, Canna's going to get the flank position here, and now BB might have to use his flash to try and get away. Will Searing charge. A counter TP. The brittle proc as Canna runs. Does still have his own flash. Caps here to equalize the wave. Hans Summer looking for the flank. Canna flashes away. Caps likely to think better of chasing any further and does so.
Okay, so a lot of things happening here. Mainly, Broken Blade thinks he sees a play, forces kyeahoo back, he rotates the top, Caps TPing down to bot, puts him in a position to catch that wave, allowing for Broken Blade to reset. And now I think G2 are getting the lane assignments that they want. They want Canna out of this Ornn matchup, which, while you would expect Ornn to be able to manage it, because Canna's so far ahead, he is doing a lot of work in the 1 versus 1. But Ahri doesn't quite have that same impact because she doesn't have that magic resist shred that he has on the Harpoons. So instead, by putting the Sylas into the Rumble, you have a little bit more outplay potential, and that threat of the Pantheon ultimate coming down with the Sylas is much scarier for Canna to handle.
Also, by not running the TP on Canna, it is just a longer cooldown. It's a 7-minute cooldown versus the 5-minute cooldown, so it means that you'll have a timer where Caps has his TP up and available before you actually have it back up on Canna. But now Canna in trouble. Grand recovery.
Grand Starfall is the play here. You can see SkewMond coming in. Death Charge stolen away by Caps. They'll dive onto the Rumble, and he immediately gets evaporated underneath the tower. Dredgeline's going to hit on SkewMond, but he's not tanking it yet. The charm goes in. He tries to shield ball forward. kyeahoo gets another Spirit Rush charge. Can they go any further? You can see Caliste trying to move, get in position for the curtain call. Another charm goes in. The shield from the crash down. The curtains are open. Not even needed. Close the door on Labrov. As G2
topside though
lost 2. Meanwhile on the top side, BB getting chased out by Yike. On the bottom side, Caps dives in, gets 1 but dies for it. KC winning across the map.
kyeahoo is having so much impact on this map. KC trusted him with the resources in the early game, and now he is delivering. A good teleport to respond to the action on the bot side. A nice flash charm in that play as well to catch Caps. And kyeahoo definitely getting the better of Caps here in Game 3.
But this game looked done. G2 looked like they controlled everything, but now it's Yike who's making plays towards Broken Blade in the top lane, getting a solo kill onto his former top laner, using that Cyclone at the perfect moment when Bellow's breath is gone. And on the bottom side, Caliste is picking up kills as well. It's now a 3k gold lead for KC.
We look back at this dive, and this is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Sylas plus Pantheon on a silent into Rumble looks like an easy pick, but Busio keeps them under tower. The charm connects onto SkewMond, finding a pick there as well. They wait for the Jhin to rotate down into the river. The charm connects. They say, hey, do you want to clean this one up? Nope, we'll hand it over to kyeahoo. All good. And they find themselves more kills.
And a 1-for-1 after it as well. KC now 4,000 gold ahead. After being so far behind, the only one with the lead is Hans Summer, and that's 114 gold. Sure, you can buy a couple pots. Not really too much of an advantage.
40 seconds until the Dragon. KC pushing up mid, trying to keep the pressure on towards G2. The Caps will get the side lane tower, but there is a collapse coming through. I don't know what the plan is for KC.
With the super boots. Labrov is there as well, but I don't think KC know his exact location. Caps, the first one to receive a Masterwork upgrade from Broken Blade this game. The rocket belt has become a more rockety belt, it seems.
Busio hasn't reset for wards, though. Completely out. Only has the 2 control wards in his inventory. So this becomes a little dangerous as Labrov has a full plot and can try and maybe get access here. But it looks like G2 not even going to try and contest.
Might look to try and catch someone on the move. Caps does have the TP, but as you say, KC just secured the Drake. The second of the game for them. Still a while away from Seoul, but whiling their way towards it. Busio, Hex Flash on Hans Summer. Depth charge first, Valkyrie flash across the wall, who can spear rush forward. The charm eaten by Labrov, but the root's still connecting. And with an equalizer on top of it, G2's bot lane doesn't really have anywhere to go. The chase continues for KC as they claim their second of the fight.
Yike uses the increased range on the auto attack from his Q to pop the blast cone before Labrov can get to safety. And that means with 2 down, KC can get the Baron.
KC have fought their way back beautifully. Dagda, you said it earlier, this game felt like it was done and dusted. But Yike and Busio found repeated picks in the mid lane. They found kills onto SkewMond, they found kills onto Caps. They may well have found another one.
Caps in, a couple of harpoons. Canna flashes forward, he can't keep the blast going because there's a rumble on top of it. The Baron now for KC. They are truly in command of this game.
KC, when it looked at its darkest, they found a slim light and they are clutching it with both hands. But it is incredible picks and plays coming from kyeahoo and Busio here. You managed to somehow get Caliste to get the root but behind there onto Hansama. And then here, watch Yike uses the Q to hit the blast cone. So then Labrov actually can't get into position to get over the wall. And with 2 picks, that's the Baron.
I mean, the range is the thing that gets me. This is why Jhin and Rumble is seen as such a good combo, but Jhin with almost anyone on this side can make for some very easy picks, and KC just continue to find them. With the Baron buff now, there's a lot of standing gold that they want to get. Those tier 2 towers are up for grabs. G2 setting up in the jungle, looking for a pick.
Maybe trying to see if they can catch Busio, but yeah, it's a face-off I don't think you want to take here, G2.
Yeah, can we put on the Western music here? Is that what, you know, the...
Yike spotted. Busio just still waiting. It's like, okay, I think you guys are in there. I'll step forward, control ward, G2 run away. Immediately back away from it. Hans Summer will be spotted out by Yike. Equalizer stolen away by Caps, but not as well placed. Grand Starfall coming in, the curtains open. Canna looking for the damage now onto Caps, who has to flash away. The curtain call just short of clicking with a 3rd shot. Depth charge on Hans Summer. He Valkyries out, but SkewMond's knocked up forward. The Sundered Sky not enough to heal him up. Labrov being burnt to a crisp underneath the tower, but a good shattering strike means the Canna will go down. Hans Summer gets the shutdown, a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of G2.
Well, hang on now. That is KC overextended a little too much. That type of Baron play means that these towers become a lot harder to siege. KC naturally feeling themselves, naturally feeling confident, but this play, they just went too deep.
I mean, the rumble up from Caps was not well placed at all. Caliste opens up with a great route, which then puts that pressure on the Caps to have to flash away. But KC think they see blood in the water, not realizing it's their own. Yike goes under the tower, which does set up for a great play on SkewMond, but then gets dragged under. Canna tries to follow up, but the flash-shattering strike from Labrov keeps him tucked under the turret, and it's Hansama who picks up the kills.
Still 500 gold behind is Hans Summer, but on his way to that 3rd item. 3 items complete for Caliste with the Infinity Edge, Lord Doms, and Collector. And now the question is, do G2 decide to take a fight at this next Drake? They can give it up. KC would be on Soul Point. KC, I think, would be happy if G2 decide to take the fight. They are in a really strong position still. 3 items on Canna, 3 on Yike, 3 on kyeahoo, 3 on Caliste. Only 1 on Busio because he's a support, but they're still really powerful.
There is the Ornn item starting to come through though, so already 3 given across the board. And when you actually look at like the number of items that are picked up in a lot of these situations, it's still kind of even. So like even though that gold lead is there, remember each Ornn item is about 1,000 gold. So that gold lead not as ballooned as you might think.
The thing for me is that the Red Bull Baron power play really didn't give KC that much of an advantage.
Yeah,
they took the objective off. Yeah, it was barely anything, and I feel like that they kind of wasted it. Broken Blade and Caps threatening a pick. Yike is playing around it though.
KC just go mid.
Yeah, KC just going to keep pushing mid. They're taking mid tier 2. Not really much G2 could do to keep that one standing. It was already pretty low.
You can see the vision is just littered with red wards. KC controls so much of the map. A couple of, I mean, some nice wards, but they're going to be spotted out, cleared out quickly by KC to make this contest much harder for G2. But they've got to be feeling pretty good. The LDR now finished for Hans Summer. 3 items on him. And a good ulti steal from Caps could be the difference maker. KC in the driver's seat. Hook goes wide.
Busio unable to find his man. G2 don't have a wave to play through on the mid lane. It looks like they are just trying to get to that tier 1. Caps is going down towards the top lane, or up towards the top lane, I guess, to catch that wave. They'll give up the Drake. This tower's still very healthy for KC. And double the amount that G2 have managed to pick up through this game. Guardian Angel now complete, though, on SkewMond.
This game feels a lot more tense than it should.
I mean, it's because if KC make a mistake, they just lose the finals.
And Canna just might.
Canna caught out Grand Starfall there for the follow-up flash away from Canna. G2 won't look for more. TP and a flash. Burnt by KC. kyeahoo gets the movement speed, but can't get close enough to collapse.
And you can see that there, right? You were just talking about how tense this was. KC afraid that that might have just been that one pick, so immediate teleport. But there was nothing to gain, nothing to give. So it all falls back, but a teleport now down for kyeahoo.
Yeah, and with the Baron spawning in a minute's time, G2 now have some options in terms of their lane assignments with what they can do. Interestingly, they've got 2 people in the bot side of the Rift, Broken Blade and Caps. Normally, you'd want them separated, but with nothing ready to push or play for on the top side, they just have Broken Blade shadowing. They want to funnel out XP into Caps to get him to level 16, lower the cooldown on that ultimate so that he can potentially use it multiple times in a single fight. They're shadowing one another to threaten a pick, but KC is cautious. They realize how scary the darkness is.
Yeah,
and the pings are coming down.
As soon as they saw Broken Blade, who is level 17, Caps now 16. kyeahoo has bought himself a Book of Many Wonders, 10 stacks on the Medjais. Has had an absolute stormer of a game, but needs to keep it up. His ability to dodge around the fight, so vital. 4 items for him.
So now they've moved Canna down towards the bottom lane. Ahri's regrouped with the team. Top wave isn't being pushed out, but watch Caps. He's going to move towards that top lane and push that one out himself. Broken Blade should be fine. Caps a bit indecisive here. Does he want to move towards mid or does he want to push out top?
I think they're hoping Caliste would just overextend. That's what they're waiting for.
Nice control ward there. Spot out that ward. They've got another one over the wall, but that's been spotted out, pinged by KC.
G2 managed to get that Scuttle Crab. KC have the push in mid, matched by BB. Labrov looking for that Magnet Storm, does show ward in the bush now. Yike jumps in, shadowing strike on the clone. Labrov forced away, smite down on him. A little bit tentative, a little bit scared, you feel, from KC there. Didn't want to go for the all-in engage. Dredgeline short of clipping SkewMond.
You can feel how tense it is for both teams. A single play could very much decide the outcome of this game.
No one wants to pull the trigger either, because if you end up overextending as KC, Broken Blade's ultimate could completely separate out the fight. But it's a similar story where KC can try and scatter. Busio has Yike in the wings.
Yeah, he can use the decoy to get away. 2 minutes on the next Drake. If KC can delay and delay and delay and get to that point, then it's an infernal soul for them.
I completely agree with you, Medic. I feel like that's the game plan for KC. Don't really overforce anything right now. Just stall. Keep buying time. Wait for the dragon to come up, and then force G2 into this very difficult situation. Force G2 to have to make a choice.
Getting towards those 4th items as well for Caliste. On its way for Canna. Looks like it's going to be a Rabadon's as his 4th.
Broken Blade is bot. KC trying to see if they can set up around this top side, look for a pick onto Caps or look for a start on towards Baron, get some TP out of Broken Blade here.
Yike a level ahead of Caps, as is kyeahoo. SkewMond's going to jump onto Yike, who uses the decoy. Caps looking for the chase, Spirit Rush exchanged. With the TP coming in from BB, Labrov is caught up with the Dredgeline. Shield Bolt in from SkewMond. Labrov could look for the Magnet Storm. kyeahoo's still holding on to one part of that Spirit Rush. Decoy out from Yike as Caps doesn't land the chains, but still continues for the chase. Yike forced down to half HP. Caps able to dodge away in time to not get caught up with the deadly flourish. Labrov at half himself. He's forced away, Call to the Forge God, lands on Caliste, but with an equalizer, G2 can't step forward. A flash cyclone onto SkewMond. The Guardian Angel will bring him back, but the charm locks him up. Magnet Storm in, Caps trying to get in as well. Canna kills Broken Blade, KC have 5, G2 only have 3, and not for much longer. SkewMond will find 1, but there's a Quadra for the Jhin, as KC are not done with this series yet.
KC are not going to waste any time off the back of that fight. They have set their sights on the Nexus, they've set their sights on another game, and they want to show that they are not done just yet.
It was hard fought for KC. They battled back from a deficit, but they will not be denied at least a 4th game in Barcelona.
KC trying to build that blue wall brick by brick. The first in place, the foundation set. Will we see them get the reverse sweep? They still have one more game to go before we get to Silver Scrapes.